Okay, real talk. You wake up in the morning. You do your laundry. You walk outside and hang your clothes on the line to dry. That's it. That's the whole story. Except, in some places in the world, that simple, completely harmless act could land you in serious trouble. Not jail, but fines, warnings, and some genuinely awkward conversations with your neighbors, and possibly a government official. Welcome to Plain Truth Channel. Today we're diving into one of the most surprisingly fascinating legal and cultural topics you probably never thought about: the rules around drying your clothes in public, and how Dubai and the United States handle it in completely opposite and completely revealing ways. Dubai is one of the most extraordinary cities ever built. In just a few decades, it went from a modest trading port in the desert to a global icon of modern architecture, luxury tourism, and billion-dollar ambition. It is, in every sense of the phrase, a city that cares about appearances. And that's not a criticism. It's the whole point. In many residential communities across Dubai, particularly those managed by private developers and master-planned neighborhoods under the UAE's urban regulations, hanging clothes, laundry, or wet items on balconies, windows, or any externally visible area is either restricted or outright prohibited. Now, the question anyone will ask is why. Here's where it gets really interesting. Dubai has invested enormously in projecting a specific global image: gleaming towers, pristine facades, impeccably maintained public spaces. Laundry flapping in the desert, frankly, doesn't fit that brand. Property developers and community management bodies want uniform, clean-looking buildings. Visible laundry is considered an aesthetic violation, almost like graffiti on a luxury car.
This isn't unique to Dubai, by the way. Similar rules exist in Singapore, parts of Hong Kong, and many European cities. But Dubai applies it with particular intensity because of how rapidly and deliberately its built environment was designed. The rules vary by community. Some are strict, some are lenient, but in many of the most famous districts, residents know: keep your laundry inside, or use a dryer, or face a fine from your building management. And here's the fun fact: some residents actually love it. It keeps the neighborhood looking sharp. Meanwhile, others get furious because drying clothes in the sun is energy efficient, completely natural, and frankly, it just works. Now let's cross the Atlantic, or rather fly west to the United States. And this is where it gets genuinely complicated, and honestly, a little bit funny. In America, the situation is almost the reverse of what you'd expect. For decades, homeowners associations, or HOAs, banned outdoor clotheslines in thousands of neighborhoods across the country. The reasoning? Same as Dubai: visual aesthetics, property values, community image. Nobody wants to look out their window and see their neighbor's underwear waving hello. At one point, millions of American homes were under HOA rules that explicitly prohibited outdoor laundry drying. This was seen as a sign of poverty, low-class living, an eyesore. There was real cultural stigma attached to the clothesline. But then something shifted, and this is the part that genuinely surprised me when I first researched this. Starting in the 1990s and accelerating through the 2000s and 2010s, a growing environmental movement pushed back hard. Drying clothes on a line instead of using an electric dryer can save a household hundreds of dollars a year in energy costs. It dramatically reduces carbon emissions, and it's been humanity's primary method of drying clothes for, about 10,000 years. So advocates started lobbying state governments, and they won.
Today, over 20 U.S. states have passed right-to-dry laws, legislation that specifically overrides HOA rules and protects a homeowner's legal right to use a clothesline. States like Florida, Colorado, Hawaii, Maine, and Vermont are among them. Florida's law, for example, has been on the books since 1980 and explicitly states that no deed restriction, covenant, or HOA rule can prohibit someone from using a solar clothes dryer, the legal term for a clothesline. Yes, a clothesline has an official legal name, and it's solar clothes dryer. That's incredible. So in America, some states have literally passed laws to protect your right to hang your socks outside. Meanwhile, in Dubai, you might get fined for doing the same thing. Two wealthy, modern places, but opposite laws. Here's here's the deeper truth, and this is what I find genuinely fascinating about this topic. Laws about laundry aren't about laundry. They're about values. They're about who gets to define what a community looks like and whose priorities get to win. In Dubai, the priority is unified visual excellence. The city was built as a statement. Every building, every facade, every public space is part of a carefully curated identity. Residents agree to that standard when they move in. In the United States, the battle over clotheslines is really a battle between individual rights and collective aesthetics, between what a community wants to look like and what an individual has the right to do on their own property. And the environmental argument tipped the scales, because when you can tell someone this isn't just about your convenience, this is about energy, carbon, and the planet, suddenly a clothesline becomes a political statement, a green act, almost a form of quiet rebellion. That's extraordinary. A piece of rope strung between two posts became a symbol of environmental justice in modern America. And this is something worth carrying into how you see the world. The weird laws, the ones that seem trivial, are often the ones that reveal the most about a culture's true priorities. Dubai isn't wrong. America isn't wrong. They've just made different choices about what matters most. And both are entirely human responses to the same question. What kind of place do we want to live in? So next time you're doing laundry, and yes, I know, that might be the least glamorous context for an existential thought, think about this. That simple act of drying clothes connects you to thousands of years of human life. Sunlight, wind, rope. It's one of the oldest domestic rituals on Earth. And yet, in 2026, it's still being debated, regulated, protected, and banned, depending on where you live. In Dubai, the skyline wins. In some American states, the clothesline wins. And somewhere in the middle of all of it is a really honest conversation about what we value: beauty, freedom, the environment, community, individual rights, and how we balance them. If you found this interesting, hit the like button. It genuinely helps this channel more than you know. And subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next.